guys. This is Sneak and Rest, and today we're talking about the power of getting rest and the benefits of resting.
Yeah, so when we're talking about rest, yes, we're talking about physical rest, but we're talking about rest in every sense of the meaning. I really feel like we live right now, we're living in a time where everybody is team, grind all day, team no sleep, team entrepreneur, team be your own boss, hashtag five streams of income. We're really living in an era where everybody wants to display how much of a boss they are.
Like
And it's,
yeah, the saying, "I'll sleep when I die," or
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
no,
it's
you
like,
need to sleep
okay,
now.
you gonna die a lot quicker if you don't get that sleep
Right.
now.
Think you need to take a nap now.
But
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. I don't even necessarily think it's bad. Like, you should definitely, if you want to be a boss. But like, I feel like it is so push right now that everybody feels the need to like compete or like one up each other. Like, look at what I'm doing. Look at this. And it's almost like it's being fed more so by approval from like
Mhm.
our peers
Mhm.
than it
Yeah.
is than like what we're actually wanting to do sometimes.
Mhm.
I remember I went on this date with this guy. I didn't even mean to bring this up. I didn't even think about this earlier. But I remember I went on this date with this guy and like, oh, you probably remember him, real arrogant dude that I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to hurry up and leave. Um, but like the whole date was just like, yeah, and I give advice to bankers, and I have a 5-bedroom house, and I have blah blah blah, and I also do this, and I also do this, and I remember being like, okay, so like when did you sleep? I don't need to sleep, I'm a blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay, so like how you said you want a relationship, blah blah blah, but it seems like you don't have time for one. And he went on this
Yeah.
like, yeah, but my girl, she ain't got to worry about nothing because this, and that. And so, like, at some point during the day, I had like asked him, like, oh, okay. So, like, what made you want to do these things? And he was just like, I mean, I just kind of fell into it. They told me you can make money. I was like, oh, so you're not happy? He was like, no, I mean, it's about money. Like, I'm trying to, I'm happy when I'm going on a $10,000 vacation. I'm happy when I'm blah, blah, blah. And like, I had this whole moment where I was like, so everything you do is for external praise.
And yeah, approval of
And
people that you don't even know half the time.
right. And then twice a year, you get to have fun for a week. Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
He
Uh,
probably doesn't even know how to enjoy his own company after all that.
Probably not. I don't even think he had time for his own company.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't. Now, don't get me wrong. I did order the most expensive thing on the menu. I'm like, if I gotta listen to this, like, give me a bottle of the 1917 Merlot from
Right.
and let me that lobster meat. Let's go through this because apparently he wants to
He
prove
got
to me
it. He
how much
wants to
money he
show
has.
me. Right.
So let's go ahead and prove it, boo. Um, but like no, I feel like this is more of a common thing. Maybe not to that extreme, but it seems like our generation is really big on not even our generation, just people living right now during this time are
Mm-hmm.
so big on like look at how much I can do to our detriment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one, first of all, not everybody is meant to be a CEO. Let's just start there. Because I get so annoyed when I see people push these memes like, um, you up here working for the man when you should be building your own wealth and blah 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 blah. And it's like, let's just be honest, not all of us have what it takes to build our own wealth. Not only that,
Mm-hmm.
not everybody wants that.
Yeah, I mean, I
And I know
don't.
a lot of people are gonna like not agree with me, but like somebody has to be a janitor, okay? Like somebody has to pick up the garbage. Somebody has to cook the food. Like not all of us are going to be Bill Gates. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think like it should be a pressure to pretend like that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's all that it seems like that they are pushing.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Oh
not
yeah.
as easy as they're trying to make it to seem. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think me and you have talked about this before. Some of this is just our field, but like I don't know anybody our age that is only working one job.
Yeah.
Unless it's someone that's like because they can't. But everybody I know is working multiple jobs, or not multiple jobs, but doing multiple things that either are eventually going to get them something else. Like nobody is just going to work, coming home, being happy, and enjoying their day life. The rest of the time they're not at work.
Yeah, but it kind of seemed like that's how it used to be, low-key. But maybe it wasn't. I don't know, but it seemed that way.
I think so, because I know, like, with my father, now my father's like that. He's a hard worker. It's just in him. He was raised by an old school father that was like, men are supposed to put meat on the table type. But like when I told him I was looking for a second job, and I was like, yeah, some of the hospitals, they need somebody to be like a discharge planner. I can do that in my sleep, blah, blah, blah. And it like ticked him off. Like, what do you mean? Why are you looking for a second job? No, you're supposed to be that's your free time. So I do think, at least in his head, like it was like women are not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Now, we don't need to get into the part of that statement, but I say that to say, like, I do think beforehand this was not a thing. Like, people were happy to get their white picket fence and their Oldsmobile and call it a day.
And come home and eat their dinner and just be good. Yeah.
So, one of the things that I feel like I've noticed, at least about myself, is like on an average day, I do not feel like I have downtime. Like creating a time or a period of rest for me is something I have to strategically plan. Like it doesn't just happen randomly.
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't even know. I don't have the time to even plan that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like you were saying earlier this week, you want to be strategic about getting rest. I don't have time for it. I mean, it's not that I don't want to make time, but being like a single mom and a single mom every single day, it don't happen that way ever. Unless I ask. But then it's just like lately I haven't had those options either.
Yeah, I know for me, I had to give up some stuff. So like me, I carved out I'm not gonna have any more, some plans change. But originally I had carved out a set of time for myself where I was like, okay, I last week was my birthday. I went to the coast. I was like in nature a lot. Like I was walking around the seashore, I was on the docks, I went through this like nature climb walking thing, and I really enjoyed myself. And so like I had to tell myself like, okay, so instead of one of my side hustles, I was like, I'm going to take away 2 hours I would normally be using to make more money, and I'm going to sacrifice that to go and bring not a journal, but like like I have a book where I draw in, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to go to one of my favorite parks. I am going to put some wine in a bottle that looks like juice, and I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna have my headphones. One of my favorite parks, it has like these big swings, like those swings that you saw on like grandpa's book. And they have a whole bunch of them. They have like 15 of them overlooking the lake. And I was like, and I'm gonna go there for like 2 hours, and I'm going to just have raw, I have my wine, and I'm gonna be happy. And like it was like I had to strategically like, okay, I don't have time to do this. If I do this, I have to give up something. And I had to tell myself like, yo, you felt so relaxed on vacation last week. Like, and why did you feel relaxed? You felt relaxed being in nature. You felt relaxed just sitting and listening to music and just meditating. And I'm like, okay, so I have to give up something to make sure I have that at least once a week now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking for you. Like when you have those times to yourself, you need to just take some time away from just chilling in the bed or doing your extra job and take it. I know for me, just walking like at a park, just walking and having music in my ear makes me like calm down for some reason. And I don't like to exercise at all. Like I will go up a flight of stairs. By the time I got up there, I'll probably pass out. And breathing really, really hard because I don't do anything physical. And that's not good. But just like walking around and listening to music, I just go in a whole different headspace and I like calm down. I think about stuff and just breathing. I guess I'm meditating while I'm walking because I'm like, sometimes I close my eyes and I walk. It's probably isn't safe, but it's just like taking the time to walk. But then when I
I
get
was just about, I was just about to say, girl, what part of Dayton are you doing this in?
no, I used to do that when I used to live in the suburbs. But I could do that at a park over here too. Yeah, I can't go over there and do that. Ain't no.
There's some places in Atlanta. I'm just like, nah, y'all, it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. But nobody bothered me at that little walk around. But I did enjoy that, and I said I should get more time. But it's just like for me, I have to like ask for this or that, and it just like right now, everybody around me is busy, so it's just like nobody has the time, and sometimes I don't want to put my stuff on other people. So unless I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm even thinking about just having a babysitter like once a week, paying a babysitter.
Yeah.
Or every other week just to have time for myself because it's just not doable right now. And I'm really seeing that it's taking a toll over everything. So.
Yeah, I definitely think that, one, I think the babysitter is a good idea. My mom actually reached out to me, was telling me like a family friend lives out here. And she was like, oh yeah, by the way, she got some teenage girls. They're like 17, 18. And I was like, okay. And they're like, they would be great babysitters. You cannot, because I'm very big on like, my child needs to be with family. Or like you, somebody I really, really trust. And I won't leave them with anybody, her with anybody. And my mom was like, hey, I understand that. I'm telling you, this is someone that I've known since I was 8. This is a safe person. You need to learn to take some time for yourself. Because it can be hard. Like I know with me, I do have my daughter's father. Me and him have a great co-parenting relationship. Usually we can tell each other like, yo, I just need a break. And the other one be like, okay, I understand. I know these are your days. Do you want me to take her on these days? You get yourself together. And we do that, but we don't have family. All we have is each other here. And like, I know you have family there, but like you were saying, like sometimes family is just like, I have my own stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, it can definitely be a hard thing. But like you said, like it is a matter of, okay, now I have to give up something. And it's like, okay, if I have to give up $25 to have an hour to myself, at some point you're going to be pushed to the edge where you're like, okay, like I need this. Like one thing, you were talking about this earlier, I realized, so y'all, I've been on vacation for like half of May. Me and you went on vacation for like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And then I went on vacation for my birthday 5 days, but I actually had took a week off. So that's like, yeah, that's like a week and a half. I was on vacation this month. But even with that like week and a half worth of vacation, I have over a month and a half of vacay time still left because I never use vacation time. I never use why do I have 6 weeks of vacation? Like that's like, and when I told my boss like I had to extend my vacation time because I was supposed to be going out the country and I had to change that last minute. And I told my boss, and my boss was like, yeah. And then my boss texted me back, and she texted me back some really sweet words like, yes, I want you to take care of yourself. You know, you're an amazing worker. Do what you got to do. But she later ended up texting me. Was like, I just checked your vacation time. You got 6 weeks. Why are you here? Just take your time. Tell me when you're going to be back. Why do you have 6 weeks of vacation? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, because I'm not used to resting. I grew up with a mindset of, I'm supposed to want something.
Yeah.
Idle hands make for idle behind. Like that's how I grew up. Okay, you need to get out the house. Okay.
Yeah. Go do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay, so when we get back to the basics of resting, of course, it comes down to the basics of like physical rest. We need to get our sleep. And I feel like we say that and people are like, well, yeah, duh, let's move on to the next thing. But most people aren't sleeping. Like, I feel like when I talk to other adults, so I think I've told you guys this, I have insomnia. I've had insomnia since like last February. And when I say insomnia, I'm talking about like, I am on over the counter, like controlled substance level 2 or whatever, and I'm still not sleeping on that. Like, I'm actually have a sleep study coming up in like 2 weeks because I'm having trouble sleeping. But like when I talk to other people and they're like, yeah, you having trouble sleeping too? I'm like, yeah, girl, I have insomnia. They're like, yeah, girl, me too. And I'm like, no, like for real, I have insomnia. Not that like play. But like I'm finding out more and more people are like, yeah, I only get 5 hours of sleep a day.
Or less. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's bad. Like that's bad. That's horrible. And the crazy thing is, like, when I was talking to my doctor, I had told them like I was getting better. I was like, do I really need to do the sleep study? Because I'm starting to get like 4 hours a night. And she was like, what do you mean you need 8? You need at the very least 8. So no, we cannot cancel it. And I was like, to be honest, even before this happened, like I was only getting 6, if I'm being 100% honest.
I never got no 8. I don't know when I got 8.
I don't remember ever getting 8 either.
Mm-mm.
Like maybe when I was like a toddler. Even then, I feel like I woke up at the crack of dawn and made sure everybody else in the house had to wake up too.
Mm-hmm. And I never took naps back then, so I don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, but like, there's so many studies that show like if you do not get sleep, it leads to all things that we think are issues non-related to sleep.
Yeah,
it messes up our moods, our eating habits, our ability to focus,
right.
All sorts of things that we don't relate back to. Like, hey, you probably just need to sleep. You probably just need to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night, and you would not be yelling at your babies every 5 seconds if you would just go to bed. If you would just go to bed, your coworker would not get on your nerves because you would not be paying attention to every little thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like we don't. Even down to like, so I was reading an article preparing for this, and it was talking about like, even for our muscles to repair itself, like the tissues and so forth, like you need sleep for your muscles to properly be able to do that. That's just something I did not know.
Me either.
Yeah. Like, so when you're sick, and not even sick, like if you hurt yourself, apparently not sleeping also like prevents you from being able to heal as fastly as you can. Yeah.
I didn't know sleep had to do with healing. Well, when you're sick, I know you should get sleep. I didn't think about like body aches and all of that.
Yeah, they were saying it's something to do with the repairing muscle tissue. Yeah, I'm not, medicine, science is not my area. I was like, cool. Yeah, it makes sense. And that's as far as I went. I didn't investigate no more. So if y'all are nurses and y'all like, that's not a thing, my bad.
They're like, nah, that's not right.
Look, that's what the Google told me, okay? And the Google is like 50% right 50% of the time. That was good enough.
Yeah.
But I did find out, so the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they did a survey, and one of the things that they found out during the survey is that 83% of respondents had actually said they spent no time during the day relaxing. 83%.
I agree.
Yeah, but you know what? When I thought about that, even though I was like, yeah, I don't relax, in my head I thought everybody else was though. Like I specifically was like, yeah, everybody else seemed to be having the time of their life, and I am just always on go and always tired and stressed. But no, apparently everybody is tired and stressed, and we all think each other are just living our best life.
That's that. Yeah, that's that social media thing.
Yeah, social media. Oh, it is 2 sides of it.
Currently deactivated from Facebook, at least.
Oh yeah, I deleted my Facebook.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while, but I deactivated last month, so.
Yeah, no, Facebook, it was nothing but like my cousin snitching on me about stuff that I like specifically blocked my mom from viewing. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and delete this. Right. So me and her don't have to have this conversation every 3 days. But no, like, okay. And so, okay, I was looking at that survey, and then they had a quote from this Dr. Matthew Edlund. He's the author of The Power of Rest, Why Sleep Alone is Not Enough. And one of the things he was quoted as saying is that, like, we're now living in a time where people treat themselves as machines. And I think that is so true. I think that is so true because I know I often find myself saying little things. Like, I think I even posted it on Instagram the other week where I was like, yo, it is now 9 p.m. and I just realized I have not ate today. And it was like I was doing so much stuff. I was on vacation, guys. Like, I was on vacation. I was trying to pack as much stuff in because I was like, well, I'm here and I got to be
Taking it
doing
in.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
Hmm.
bad for just resting while I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes
Um,
vacation is for rest too, lady.
yeah, yeah. And I eventually did put in some time for rest, but like I technically put no, okay, I technically put in some
I
time.
don't think you rest when
I
you were there.
kind of did. Well, so the Airbnb I stayed was right on the lake, and they had this like gorgeous pier, and I did go down to the pier with like some Mike's Hard lemonade, and because I couldn't really drink because like I was still on a pier and I was terrified.
Hmm.
Like I
Hmm.
am clumsy, and it was not like the walkway to like the pier part was very narrow, and I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
you can't get too tipsy because we don't know how this is gonna
They
end.
trip us out, right?
Yeah, we don't know how this is gonna end. We
I look
hoping
on
for the
the
best.
location and it's in the water. Like, what's going on?
Look, but no, I was there and I was like, okay, this is my rest. But I did spend that whole time reading, and reading to me is relaxing. But so lately, I have not been able to like read just for pleasure. Like, I have been reading a lot of self help books, a lot of psychology books, because I would very much like the world to stop fucking with me. So I just figured, like, maybe if I help myself, maybe if I just become a better person, the world will let me rest. It has not happened yet, though I think I'm becoming a better person. So I rested, but I don't really know if that counts as rest because I still made myself do something that I felt the obligation to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not really sure if
But it
that
was
counts.
still, I mean, a rest from your daily.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like I still have one of my coworkers blocked. Like, one of my coworkers, one again, I was supposed to be out the country. They knew I was supposed to be out the country. I talked to them the night before because they called me at 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. about a situation that they did not handle, that they wanted me to handle. And I was like, this is all I can do for you. I'm going
Yeah.
out the country in like 7 hours. And they still called me when they knew in their head I was supposed to be out the country. I
And
never
you
even
never told them, did you, that your plans changed, did you?
No, I never told them my plans changed. I blocked them.
That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
blocked
what the part that made me more mad when you were telling me. I'm like, what if you were out of the freaking country? It's a whole different time zone. It's a lot of factors in that. Like, leave me
also,
alone.
I'm off work. Don't ask me no questions.
Yes.
Don't ask me no questions. For every second I have to be on the phone with you, I'm calling HR and be like, no, these were not vacay hours. I was working.
Mm-hmm.
I was working. For all 8 of those minutes, I want my 8 minutes back.
Right.
But and that goes back to also with the resting thing. Like, I know for me, it's really hard for me to, when people need me, it's really hard for me to just say no in the absolute. It's not hard in my personal life. I'm very good at saying no in my personal life. It's very hard for me in my professional life. And I think it's hard for me because I take pride in my career, in my profession. I take pride in being able, people can say my name and associate it with good work. I take
Mm-hmm.
pride in the fact people will hear my name in my particular field, in my particular niche area of the field, and people will be like, oh, yeah, no, you don't got to worry about nothing. That's in her. And I think because of that, when there's periods and times where I know I should be like, that is not my problem. That sounds like
Yeah.
no problem. That sounds like you need to talk to your worker because I'm not about to cover for them again. It's hard for me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, I know when it comes to rest, yes, it's hard for me to rest all over, but definitely from work, it's very hard for me to be like, hey, you are now infringing on my peace, and I am not going to allow you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at that. I'm
Yeah.
really, really bad at that.
Yeah. Me too. When it comes to like work, I feel like I go above and beyond. For what? Don't know. Because it's not worth it ever. Like, work is never worth it. But I think I'm kind of getting out of it, but I still feel so antsy when I have to call off. Even if it's like, this is a real important thing, I still feel uneasy about it. And I want to get out of that and just be like, this is what it is. Like, if they fire you, they fire you. Like, that's why I kind of start feeling like that lately. But I think I'm better than I used to be at my first job.
For sure.
Now I'm just like, it is what it is. Take me off the payroll. Like, I feel like something gonna work out. Something always works out. So I'm good. But I'm learning, but I still have my uneasiness, but I'm not as anxious about it as I was before. But yeah, because you need that time. Like, I think it would have something to do with like Xavier used to tell me like that job. He said you can die tomorrow. Guess what? They're gonna have your job on the thing on Indeed the next day and not care and move on. So you need to stop putting that before your family, before yourself. And I'm like, you're right.
They send out a little email saying, Neek worked for her department for 2 years. She was a blank, 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 and she eventually moved up to a blank, blank, blank. We are going to send flowers to her family. The funeral is on Thursday at 8 p.m. If you know anybody with the qualified...
Yes, they'll put that in there.
Please send them this email address for HR with this position. That's exactly what they're going to do.
So it don't matter. Like, just do you. Like, yes, do good quality work because you want to be known for, you want to do your good quality work. But when it comes to yourself and your family, those things come first.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely getting to a point where I am starting to be like, not so much my job, but definitely being like, man, fuck those folks. Like, I'm definitely getting to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I did my best. I did all I could do in the hours that I was required to do it. Now is my time. I am allowed to enjoy my time. I am not going to allow myself to feel guilty for enjoying my time.
Yeah. It was a situation. Yeah, it was
I do, but I'm trying to get there.
Like, yeah, you should enjoy your time. Like, it was a situation today. It wasn't involving me, but one of my coworkers, and they told her, it was 3:45. You have to go to Cincinnati today to complete this task. It's 3:45. We get off at 4:30.
And that's what, like an hour drive there and an hour back?
And it's traffic. And it's the process of talking to, like any visit is never 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, especially if it's, and then she stood her ground. No, I have to take my child to practice after work. I clock off at 4:30. I was like, you better, because it's just like, they don't care about your life. And you got to take that back and care for your life. Like, that was so disrespectful to even ask somebody to do.
Oh, yeah. But can we briefly also talk about these companies trying to move people back into the office, knowing that their people have been doing great working from home? Yeah. People are happier. People's morale is up. And they are still trying to push people back. And it's like, because they don't give a fuck if y'all are happier. And it seems
want to see what you're doing every 24/7. That's what they want to do.
It seems like they don't even care that y'all are more productive. They just want y'all back. And I really hope, so I was reading an article today that was saying that more and more employers are starting to find that people are up and quitting when they are saying like they are having an issue, not only with getting workers, because when people are saying like, oh, companies are saying they're having a hard time getting workers, most of us are thinking about like fast food places, Walmart and so forth. But they're saying like a lot of like white collar jobs are now having issues keeping folks because folks don't want to go back. And I was like, yes, we do need to push back against that. Because if I am doing my job and we are productive and we have shown that we can do this from home, why would you push me to go into work where now, again, y'all, I live in Atlanta. I have to, this was my schedule before Corona. Wake up at 5:30 a.m., put on my makeup, do my hair, put on my outfit, wake my baby up around 6 a.m., put her clothes on, wash her face, brush her teeth, put her in the car, drop her off at the daycare at 6:30. From 6:30 until about 7:30, I was in traffic driving to my job. Now, my job, when there's not traffic, is only about a 25-minute drive. With traffic, it's anywhere between an hour to an hour and 40 minutes, just depending on the day. Now I get to my job now, because my job is with who my job is with. Parking is not near my job. In the area my job is at, parking is like $15 a day. So they gave us a parking spot, but the parking spot is like 10 minutes away from our actual building. So you have to wait on the shuttle that sometimes comes and sometimes it does not. So you also have to get there early enough, because if it doesn't come, or if it's running late, even if it comes, it's a 10-minute drive, plus they're stopping off, dropping off other folks. So by the time I get to my office, it's like 8:20, and I have to clock in at 8:30. I'm there from 8:30 until 5 p.m. I got to do the whole shuttle thing again. By the time the shuttle gets me to my car, it is 5:30. By the time I get to my baby, it is 6:30. By the time
and then it's like no time with her.
Yeah, and by the time me and her get home, it's like 7. It's like maybe 6:45, 7. And then we eat, we do bath time, we do story time, what did you learn, kisses, and I put her to bed because her bedtime's 8 p.m. And then while she's doing that, now I'm doing things for the podcast. I'm doing things for my other podcast. I am trying to figure out how to get sponsors, things like that, until it's time for me to go to sleep. As y'all know, I don't sleep.
Yeah, so it's like now you don't sleep at all.
Yeah, but hypothetically, then it would be like 11 o'clock by the time I'm done with that and start it all over. And it's like, you do that for 5 days a week. What is life? Where
is the breaks and where is the happiness?
But if I'm telling you that working from home has made it better, I'm still getting everything done. Plus, I get to see my baby. I actually know what my daughter's personality is like. Because let me tell you, me and her have both figured out each other's real personalities, and we've been like, oh, cool. So how about we both give each other an hour break? Because you annoying, and I'm gonna go in my room. Like, Kari would straight up look at me sometimes and be like, "Mommy, no," and she'll just get up and walk to her room, and I'm like, "Oh, I think that was her telling me I'm being annoying now." Because before this, we've never spent this much time. On the weekends we did, but it wasn't like 5 days a week. She was used to spending that amount of time with me.
Yeah, it's good, but it becomes overwhelming sometimes. Because I remember I had to do a week of it, and I was like, oh, I see what Chris talks about now.
Yeah.
But even though you get your breaks like on the weekend, but it went, I don't know, I still wouldn't want to have her every single day. And that's bad to say, but it's just like, look, you had to work. Like, I did have to work. Yeah, I did have to work. She used to mess up my whole house, and it's just not even messed up because it's keeping her entertained.
Look, I will say it this way: my baby starts pre-K soon, and we are waiting. We can't wait. Matter of fact, it starts in August, but we are into September. I gotta go look. But we put her back in daycare in July. Like, we have already decided. Like, okay. We're putting her back in daycare at least half days, because yes, we do need a break. But I was saying that to say, like, the benefits from working from home, like, now I get time to actually spend time with my child.
It is good. That's, yeah, because I feel sad that I don't know her personality. Sometimes I don't know as much as I would know if I had more time with my child. Yeah. And I just get angry sometimes that I have to work every day and be tired every day and be mad every day. Even though my baby could do, you know how they are. Yeah. Especially together. But even though all of that, it's still like, I made this person, I want to spend time with her. Yeah. I get sad about that too.
Yeah, at least for the first 2 hours. I mean,
yeah, at least 2 hours a day.
After that, I'm like, okay, so where's your day?
Yeah, because I do everything. Or you just, it's hard giving the people you love like the last little ounce of what you have, because you don't have much to give yourself. So it's like, giving them the last little ounce.
Yeah, and I think so many of us are used to pouring from an empty cup, because that's what we were living on. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Corona really did a 180 and let a lot of people see, like, hold on, we don't have to live like this. Yeah, like, that stuff can get done and we will be fine.
That's true.
But companies are really fighting back against that, and I know a lot of people, self included, who have, already made the decision of, if you try to get me back in office full time, I'm cleaning up my resume. Because there's too many other companies that realize we can save on rent. We ain't got to pay for overhead. We don't have to. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's just give them a laptop. That's so much cheaper than paying, $15,000 a month in rent for them to sit here
Yeah,
and not be productive.
my
Right.
last
Right. I mean,
one of
I
my
think
last jobs is they closing down the whole building. They doing all
there's
virtual.
a, there's a couple of places doing that. There's a couple of places doing that. I know a lot of people in our field, who move to jobs, especially I know a lot of my friends that were in the hospitals. They moved to jobs that allow them to work from home. And they're
Mm-hmm.
able still to get medical social work jobs too, because there's a lot of places that now just need them to be case managers. And they're just like, you can do that from home. You can do that on the phone or via webcam.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people that like straight up left. Even some of the people who are not in social work, that are in other positions, I know in our particular building, like a lot, I lost a lot of vets. I lost like one of my favorite coworkers had been there for like 15 years,
Wow.
and was just like, you know what? This made me realize they don't care about us, and I have too many years in this to go out like this. They're like, no, I got 5 more years to retirement. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend my last 5 years doing something I love. And I was like, yeah.
She did something else in the county.
No, so she didn't. She went to private. But she's allowed to work from home unless, she has to go in for legal stuff. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things again was her kids. Like she was like, yeah, like I actually get to spend time with my kids.
Yeah.
But I think like our culture does not value rest.
Mm-mm.
Not
They treat us
even
like machines, so that's why we treat ourselves like machines.
basically, and that's horrible. And I think we are kind of going through an awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are going through, I think this last year really had a lot of people going through some type of awakening, whether it was spiritual, conscious, unconscious. I definitely feel like there's been a shift in like the energy.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a lot of things come to fruition. Like, for example, the parent um, income that Biden is
Mm-hmm.
mentioning, like that is, if you would have told me like last year, yeah, the U.S. is gonna start giving parents monthly stipends to help them out for having kids, I would have been like, America, no,
Right.
America likes to
Yeah.
take from their people. America does. That's not the business that Uncle Sam is in. Uncle Sam likes to
Mm-hmm.
take. Okay.
You're doing some good things.
Yeah, but you know what? Other countries, like my sister is Canadian, they've been had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we have that we're like, oh my gosh. And other advanced societies are just like, yeah, they gave that to us in the 60s. What the fuck have y'all been doing? We don't know.
Like, welcome
Bro,
to the good side.
we were still trying to get to the front of the bus, sis. Like we had
Right.
other things we were dealing with. Back on topic. But so, okay, when it comes to the whole resting thing, I do think this is particularly hard for people who are like perfectionists, people who are like overachievers, or people who are caregivers,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's to your child, to your parents, maybe you have a sibling that is disabled, or it just people who are caregivers in general. I think it's extremely hard to rest because, especially if caregiving is not your full-time job, like it's like I have a job and then I come home and I have to start my second job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard because it's like I can't turn down my job because I need money to live, but also I have this person dependent on me, so it's not like I can just turn that down.
It's
so
like no
how
break.
can you carve out time during that?
Yeah, and that's my lately my frustration. I don't know, but I don't see a resolution, and I'm really like about resolution, and if I don't see a resolution, I get so irritated. Like,
but wait, me and you low-key talked about this the other week. Like, well, you also talked about it earlier. Like stepping up and just asking for help. Like the other week, me and you were talking about this, and you were talking about you're frustrated, and I told you, like, again, I got 6 weeks of vacation, and I told you, I was like, you want me to just come down there and stay there for a week, and I'll just take care of your baby, and you go have the time of your life. I'll pick her up from daycare. I'll do that. And like me and you talked
Yeah,
about
we
that,
did.
like
We
as a
did.
real
I
thing.
just have to accept it, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part, like learning how to accept help.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also like learning how to actually take a break. Like for me,
Mm-hmm.
actually, even if I have somebody come through and like, yeah, I'll take care of this, me taking that time to actually rest would be the hard part. Like I would
Yeah.
definitely be like Cardi's dad, like, yeah, you need to take a break. I'm like, her bag's already packed, boo. She waiting outside the door. I'm gonna hug twice and then I'm gonna drive off. So I suggest you open. But it's like once I do that, it's like I feel so much pressure that when I don't have her, that I have to do all this stuff that it's hard to do when I have her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay,
And do
now
you also feel like sometimes like uneasy? Like not uneasy, it just feels awkward sometimes when I don't have her. Like, oh, I can go in the store and she's not asking me for anything. This is strange.
yeah.
Like it was so awkward one time. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
I
it's a good
do.
feeling, but it's something you have to get back used to or something. Like, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. There's definitely times when I don't have my, and I know some of y'all don't have kids. I don't want to
Yeah, sorry, but
but I will say there's definitely sometimes like she's with her dad and I miss her. And I'm like, I
mm-hmm.
should just go get her. And then I have to tell myself, like, girl, no.
No,
Let
take your
that,
time.
let that man have his daughter, have fun with her. And you need
Yes,
to, you need to just do
yes,
something.
yes.
But it's hard because you get used to them, you know?
Well, that could be with anything. Like, you could be on vacation and then you like, well, I didn't finish this project at work. No,
Oh,
keep
yeah.
going. Keep doing your keep doing your vacation. It's covered. Like you're
Yeah.
covered.
Yeah, I caused myself to have like a mini heart attack last week because I had a block with that coworker. I kept thinking like something must have really happened, something must have really went wrong, and I caught myself checking my email while I was on vacation.
Yeah, and I was trying to tell you,
And
don't
I
do
ended up
that.
texting my boss actually at one point in time, and she texted me back like, "Aren't you on vacation?" And then I felt bad, and I didn't reply back to her. It's like, okay, so you know, apparently I need to not handle this, but it was something. And I will say, like, it was something that kept like it low key ruined some of my vacation because even when I was having fun, there was always a thought in my mind like, fuck, you're gonna walk into a clusterfuck when you go back in the office.
Yeah.
Like just from the emails I was reading, the fact that, and I only read like 3, but y'all, I logged into my email. This was like on day like 3 of me being gone, and I had 127 emails, and I was like, okay, you're
Well,
coming back
that
home
doesn't make you feel good.
to at least 127. You still got like 3 more days, and there's a chance you might be coming back to 300 emails that you got to sort through when you get back.
Did you have 300 when you came back?
No, so I did end up having I don't know what was happening. It leveled off. I actually ended up only having like 190 something. And I will say a good like 30 of them were people replying all to things that they should just reply to one person on. So
Yeah.
And some were email chains that like technically I need the information, but like I was just CC'd on it. Like I didn't even do anything with it. Like, oh, that's there. So I definitely did help, but I definitely had like, even when I was like coming back home, I was like, oh, I should call off tomorrow. I should just give myself another day. I really do not want to deal with this. And like it was just this thought, like, oh my gosh, I really am dreading going in, and I shouldn't have done that. Like I should. My vacay was supposed to be my vacay.
Yeah.
Work shouldn't have even crossed my mind
at all.
But I also think like I was brought up with the idea like to succeed means that you are doing as many things as possible. And that's not necessarily true. You're just keeping yourself busy. It doesn't actually even mean you're succeeding at things. And what a lot of studies are saying is like, no, that's how you become a jack of all trades but master of none. Like you to succeed, you know, craft your skills on 1 or 2 things. Like you're like, no, this is my area. But also, in order to master certain things, you need rest. You burn yourself out when you don't allow yourself to take a break, whether it's a mental break or a physical break. Hell, sometimes you need a spiritual break too.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to talk about the types of rest. So the first type of rest is physical rest, and of course that is sleeping. That is allowing our body to just rest. That is not doing 7 days at the gym after working 8 hours, cooking breakfast for a family of four, cooking dinner for a family of four, helping kids with homework, and then going to sleep. No, physical rest is giving your body a chance to do nothing, giving your body a chance to just recalibrate, really.
Yeah. Sometimes I think TV may not be a rest, but sometimes it's just like me sitting there watching TV where I don't have to like think about anything. I think
that counts.
Okay, because I'm like, sometimes I just have to sit. And then Journey was like, oh, sorry. My daughter was like, she was like, Mommy, why are you sitting? And I was like, because I need some rest. I just need 5 minutes just to sit here. She was like, well, go take a nap. I said, I don't have the time for them to take a nap. We have to get you to this practice, this picture, this. I just need to sit here and quiet, please. Please just let me sit here and quiet for 5 minutes.
I say to my daughter more times than I would like to admit that she'll like walk into my room and I'll just be sitting there staring at the floor or something. And she'll be like, Mommy. I'm like, Mommy, just need a break. Okay?
Yes.
Just give Mommy 5 minutes. Okay? Just, you go watch SpongeBob. You want the here's the remote. Where's your tablet? Get your tablet.
Yes, they're starting to learn, like, oh, she just needs a little rest time.
Yeah.
Like, yes, please, baby. Thank you, baby.
But no, I think that would count because you're letting your body be at ease. Like, you're letting your body be at ease, and depending on what you're watching, like you're also letting your mind be at ease. I like true crime shows, so I'm not letting my mind be at ease.
Yeah, I have to cut myself from not watching those all the time. Like when I used to live with my parents, I used to watch them all the time. Like I just be in the room watching them all the time. My dad was like, "Are you gonna like kill them?" I'm like, "No, it's just so interesting." He said, "You either go kill your boyfriend or kill us." I'm like, "Daddy, no, it's just interesting."
All crime shows have taught me is that you are not going to get away with murder. Like
they always
get away with it.
Like,
extremely.
And I'm too clumsy. I don't think about all those things. I'm always getting caught.
First of all, I'm a Gemini, and my crimes will always be a crime of passion. So nothing would be thought out.
Yes, at all.
Being bad and being like, okay, so you gotta die. Oh crap!
You made me do this. Me crying through the whole thing. Like, you made me do this.
Like there is blood everywhere. Dang, they got a ring. There's video of me coming in.
In your regular old clothes, no ski mask.
I done took an Instagram picture and tagged my location.
It said this dude about to get it. Like, no, lady.
I got a whole snap story of like, let me tell you about this dude. He messing with me like I'm not from Dayton. Oh, I have all my brothers up in here.
And tag the location, lady.
I'll be at trial, and the defense attorney would just be like, shrug. Like, do I have to say anything? Like,
just say the plea bargain, please. Thank you.
Like, if you don't just take these 30 years so we can
and not the death and like, yeah.
You're right. Next is mental rest. Okay. And mental rest is just like allowing yourself to do something where you don't really have to exert too much mental energy. And this is really more like meditation. This is that walking in nature, walking around the park and stuff. Something like when you do your mind, you kind of go on autopilot. This is supposed to be meditation. This is not meditation for me. It's really hard for me to quiet my mind.
Yeah.
So I do meditate. I do that, but I do for like 30 minutes. Like you got a good 5 minutes, and that 5 minutes is a struggle. There's lots of me directing myself to be quiet during that 5 minutes. But definitely walks through nature, I think, is kind of like a mental rest for me. Definitely, that is something where my mind kind of just goes on autopilot, and I definitely have moments where I'm like, how did I get here? Okay, apparently I've been walking. All right, this is fun. What about for you? What do you do for mental rest?
I have got like a massage before, and it has worked before, but lately like I couldn't turn my mind off, and that bothered me.
So
But
wait, what were
before
you
I could
thinking
see,
about?
I don't know, like everything. Like, and I would tell my stuff. I was like having full conversations, like Johnny, just relax. Why are you thinking about that? Like, cause it was relaxing. It felt real. It felt good, and I was relaxed. And then I would feel myself start thinking about something. But it's like I can't turn my mind off.
It's
I
hard.
did it for my birthday.
Oh yeah. No, it's hard. I think it's definitely hard. The last time I
But I
actually
never had that feeling before. I don't think. Maybe the last massage lady was talking too much, and that irritated me too. Like, stop talking to me, just massage. I
and
don't
you
know.
so nice. I can imagine you just keep talking back and being annoyed.
And rolling my eyes under the table, my head down, like.
My rude ass would have lifted up one finger and be like, shh.
Put your hand on her mouth, like, shh.
Like, I promise I will give you a great tip if you would just not talk.
Just be quiet. Like, I don't even. I get angry when I'm trying to do like a self care, but then that person makes it all about them. It could be a psychiatrist or counselor, and now a massage person or a nail person or a hair person. It's not about you, baby. I'm paying this money for me.
Girl. And you know what? That might be a big part of why, like, whenever people are like, yeah, getting my nails done is self care. I'm like, no, I gotta sit here and have a whole conversation
A
about why
random
I don't want
conversation.
my upper lip waxed. Like, I don't enjoy it.
Are you
Okay?
sure? No, I am sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. Like, okay, so one thing about me, guys, is I have naturally thick eyebrows. And I like to, like, even when everybody was going through the thin eyebrow phase, like, I've always kept mine thick. And every time I get my nail done, they're like, oh, eyebrows. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yes. You have boyfriend? No. See, that's why you don't have boyfriend. I'm like, okay, so if we can just get a
Like,
full set.
stop it.
If we can just get the full set, I'm gonna put these headphones on and I'm gonna let you just go through. Okay, so no, I agree with you. What about, okay, so next one is a social rest. And this is when you allow yourself to go on like a human fast. Fast from humans. Put yourself on a human diet. This is, you know, taking a break from social media and taking a break from really going out, doing too much. Even though for some people that is the way they relax. I think because I think people who are extroverts, like that is like how they get their energy out. But even with extroverts, I think some time in solitude is so beneficial. Now I'm an introvert. Like I'm an introvert. Like I have to recharge after I interact with people, and I only like interacting with people so much
Yeah.
time. Yeah, before my mood switch up real quick, and it's like, oh, she don't want to be here. Okay, and like just let me go away, and I'll come back smiling and happy. But only got, so I have a battery, and once that battery run low, like that's all I got for you. But even with like social media, I often have to take social media breaks. Like I'll just, and it doesn't necessarily have to be long, but like I'll just take 2 or 3 days where I'm like, okay, I'm deleting everything or I'm disabling everything.
That's what I have to do too. That's my people break or whatever.
Yeah.
It's taking like it's deactivating. Like my mom would ask me like, are you on Facebook? No. Why not? I need a break. Oh, I understand. Okay. Like it's not like I don't need to explain it. I just need a break. Like
Yeah.
it gets to be too much and I don't really know how to explain the too much. I just know when my body needs a break from it. Or my mind needs a break from it. And I just deactivate with the quickness.
Same. I go through periods just feel like hiding from the world. Like I don't know how to explain it. Where I just really feel like I don't know. I'll get periods where I feel like I'm overexposing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys don't know this, but my personal account, like I only have like I think 4 pictures showing right now on my personal account. And usually I never have more than maybe 6, and I'll archive them a lot of the times. And it's just I'll have a random moment where I'm just like I feel too exposed, and I'll just take everything off. And I do that with social media as well. Like I'll just have a moment where I'm like, I feel like y'all have too much connection to me, and I don't like that. And like you said, it's hard to explain. I don't get that because my mom is blocked from everything but Facebook. And my dads are blocked from everything, including Facebook. I think one of my dads got my LinkedIn somehow, and I let that slide. But I get people, if it's especially if it's someone I'm dating or someone I used to date, which is also kind of odd to me because I'm like, we don't interact anymore. I'll get those people that will hit me up like, "Did you block me?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I just
I get
took a
that
break.
too.
Yeah, I get that. You blocked me again. I'm like, no, sir, I'm on a break. But okay, because I couldn't find your stuff. Like, yeah, no, I'm just on a break. Why are you on a break? We don't need to get into it. We don't have to talk
And
about it.
people
I
don't
want to be able
understand
to.
that break stuff either.
Yeah, people really don't, and it's odd to me because I would think more people are doing it, but no, no. At least men. Maybe it's a men thing. Because I feel like with my girlfriends, they'll be like, "Oh, did you delete your Instagram? Oh, girl, I'm on a break." They're like, "Oh, okay." It's always
Yeah,
the
and I
men that
get
got
it.
50
And they're
questions.
like, good. Or they would love that. Or they would love it. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good, girl. So they understand it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, also the next one is a creative break. This is for people who are creators. These are for people who are kind of the people that are like always have a project to do around the house. The people who are always like doing the cooking, creating the t-shirts for the team, being the coach or whatever for those different things. People who always got different projects they're working on the side. And this one is a break because they're like basically um, you run out of your creativity when you don't allow yourself to rest. If you go, so a lot of times creativity is usually sparked when you are feeling refreshed.
Yeah.
And that it can create like a feeling of burnout if you just go to thing to thing to thing. And that a lot of people who are creative, they'll start to feel like if they keep going without a break, like the creativity like is falling off. And they starting to feel like their work is suffering. And then so with this one, they talked about how like, no, you need a break. You need to let someone create for you. Allow
Yeah. You
yourself to
enjoy other creative things.
enjoy other people. If you have to be around creation and stuff, okay, let your kids do art. You know, let Cheesecake Factory do the cooking.
Yeah.
You know, next is the emotional break. And this one is really, it talks about like, this is like offloading your feelings. And this is really big. It could be for anyone, but this is one I think for people who are caregivers. Because a lot of times when you're a caregiver, you're taking care of people's physical needs, but a lot of times you're also taking care of emotional needs because you're usually providing a emotionally safe place for them. And for a lot of times, for a lot of people to provide an emotional safe place, you put your feelings at bay so they can feel like their feelings are important and they're the ones that you're valuing. I
So
will
how
say
are they saying to do that or whatever?
no. So they're not saying that, but they're saying like to have that type of emotional space for yourself. So that would be like therapy. That would be like having a girls group that y'all need wine and chocolate and y'all all get to sit in a circle and have a deep conversation where y'all all are sitting with one another. I had this once a couple years ago. There was a group, we called it the dang, I don't remember what it was called. It was something circle. But where we would like every 2 weeks we would meet at one of the girls' house. Everybody would bring either wine or a meal or a dish, and we would get there and we would like be there for like 5 hours. And we would just eat and we would just talk and we would dance and we would watch movies. Somebody would bring in tarot cards, like all different types of stuff. Someone would be like, "Ooh, I found this astrologist," and they'll bring in what the astrologist said, and we'd be like, "Oh, girl, what'd she say about this? That did happen because that's why you and Romeo broke up." Like we would just have a whole session where we were allowed to just disclose whatever we wanted, and it felt safe. And I really, really missed that. I had to move on from that group, and a lot of the other women had to move on for other reasons. But I actually really miss having that.
Having that aspect, yeah.
And it sucks because most of my girlfriends, like, none of y'all really live here. I have one that
Mm-hmm.
still lives here. I had like 3 at one point in time. They moved during the pandemic. But I definitely miss having that.
Right.
Yeah. Even the other time, like when me and you went on vacation, like we talked like, yeah, it's fun to have the girls, but that's what in real life it was just you and me. And we
Mm-hmm.
got to have moments where we didn't have to make sure anybody was asleep before we opened up the bottle of wine. Like it would have
Right.
been real nice if we were able to, like, instead of getting like that one rum and coke icy while we walking along the beach, because we got to be responsible for other people. If we could have got like 4 and
Yeah.
just had our day and been fun. Um, but this one I think is extremely important. I think this one has been probably the biggest one for me, because I haven't felt like I've had chances to emotionally rest a lot in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Even with therapy, because they said therapy is one, but I really feel like I haven't really even had a chance to really do that in therapy, because I've had to focus on so many other things that I really haven't been able to focus on, like, hey, this is just my stuff that aren't like urgent, pressing matters. I just want
Mm-hmm.
to talk about me, my feelings as a human being, and let me display that. Usually in therapy, there's a set goal and agenda for my therapy, because there's certain things that, like, the universe tells me. So I'm like, hey, we need to work on me being a better human being. On me stop leaving people. Let's work on that. But it would be nice to have that, to have a session or a year worth of sessions where I'm just like, hey, this is what's on my mind, and I just want to talk about this. And I
I
just
just
want
want
someone to
somebody
hear me.
listening. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I wish I had that, but I never had like great experience with counseling and therapists as
Yeah.
you have. So
So
that is my goal.
let me ask, are you still going to that therapist that you do not like?
I stopped. I haven't went back
Okay.
yet.
Okay. All right. I was just
Mm.
making sure, because I'm like, are we still pretending like this is not dreadful?
It doesn't. Like if I don't feel like if I don't, you know how you should probably feel happy about talking.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, here I have to do this. Like it's another task, and I'm so tired of tasks.
Well, but I will say therapy does not always feel happy for me either, though. Like a lot of times during like the biggest breakthrough sessions I've had during therapy were sessions that, like, I walked away mad. Like, how dare you call me out like that? A lot of times I've walked away, like, even like I have therapy tomorrow and I'm dreading it. I'm dreading it because I really opened up about something that I don't normally talk about.
Hmm.
Um, and it made me feel really vulnerable, and it made me feel like, why didn't I talk about that? Like, why did y'all even address that? You didn't even need to talk about it. That was something you could have just kept in the closet. And I'm dreading to him tomorrow. Like, I'm dreading it, because I'm just like, I feel like he's gonna bring it up and I'm gonna have to be an asshole. Like, I'm gonna just, like, I feel like that's what's gonna happen, because I don't want to talk about it, and now I feel really about going into
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But I know that's not what you're going through. You just have not found a therapist you connected with.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. The last 2 ones was spiritual rest, and this is more your area, Nick. So they're saying with spiritual rest is um, like practicing your religion, or seeking out a sense or a purpose, or using your religion to like ground yourself. Is this something that you do?
I guess that would be me like praying or reading a scripture related to
Okay.
my life. But I haven't like been reading scriptures lately. I haven't been doing any type of meditating, spiritual anything lately. Probably in years. But I know at one point in time in my life it did help me. To like pray, like write out what I want to say and then pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me peace.
Okay.
Or reading a scripture that will uplift my spirits.
I can
So
see
it has helped
that.
me in the past, but it's just like something that probably could help me now, but it's just I haven't been putting anything like I haven't been doing a lot of self-care or anything to help me feel rest lately.
Yeah.
I haven't been intentional about rest. So, yeah.
Okay. So how about this? Next episode, we're gonna do a check-in when we first start about rest. Both of us need to pick a type of rest we're going to do between now and our next episode. And we're going to check in at the beginning of the episode and see if we've actually done it and if it has helped. So which one do you want to pick?
Okay. let me look.
Like we did not agree to call each other out like that.
Right. You should see my face. I gave you a journey face. I already did social rest.
Me too. I'm gonna do mental rest. I'm gonna really try to get into my meditation. I have my daughter all week this week because it's her dad's birthday and he's celebrating. So I guess I'm gonna have to take her with like hikes and go to the park or whatever. I don't really know if that's gonna be mental rest with her because scholars do not let you mentally rest. But I am gonna do the meditation. And matter of fact, actually, I'm not gonna have her tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow I can make it to the park and just like, I can't make it to the park I want to. It's too far for me to do that on a work day, but you know, maybe we'll try to do that. So I'll do mental rest.
Can I do mental and spiritual?
Yeah. All right. Mental and spiritual. So how are you going to do your spiritual? How are you going to do your mental?
I know meditation helps me too. Okay. I know for a fact that helps. I have meditated within the last year. And after I meditate, I'll pray. So that would be just all in one. Journaling too. Wouldn't that be mental?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to journal. I have guided journaling, like prompts.
Yeah.
So that helps me. And it helps me like analyze and like just think deeply about things that I'm going through.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So those are the ones. That's what we're going to do. We'll check in next week. We're going to see if we did them and how they went.
But I'm always good when there's accountability attached to it. But if ain't nobody keep me accountable, that's the sad part. I probably won't. Just the fact that I have to check back in with you is going to get done.
Okay. See, no. When it comes to my personal life, I'm so okay with not being accountable. It's just like when it comes to I'm so okay with being like, girl, I forgot all about that. Anyways, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put reminders and prompts in like my alarms to go off to be like, hey, did you meditate yet? And I would be like, oh shoot, I didn't. Let me stop now and try it. So hopefully, we'll see. We're gonna do that. The last one was sensory rest, and this is like basically, it's just like sometimes we have a sensory overload because we're doing too much, we're out too much, we're seeing too much. This could be like, they were talking about even it being like your eyes straining because you're sitting in front of a blue screen typing all day. Mm-hmm. This can be, your wrists hurting because you're sitting at this blue screen. That's eyes, that's sight. It's hurting your eyes. Your wrists are hurting. That's feel because you're typing all day. It could be you are always on like go hyped up because you're taking in coffee. That's will be taste, but also that does something to your mental because coffee has you up and doesn't allow you to have that kind of calm rest feeling. So that's what they're talking about, like really releasing things that cause tension that but it's displayed through your senses. I will say I did a sensory deprivation tank like a year ago. And it's one of those float tanks. If you go on Groupon, I guarantee your city has it. If not, your city nearest major city near you has it. And it's like these pods, water, and it's like salt water, and you float in them, and they have lights on it. You can close the pot or keep it open, but there's lights in there, and you can close it. When you close it, it takes away your senses. Like you can't really smell anything, you can't hear anything that's not in the pod. And you're floating and so forth. And it's supposed to be like really good for people who are trying to meditate. I did not like it. I freaked out.
I think I would freak out too.
Yeah, when it was open, I did it. I lasted 20 minutes and I paid for an hour. And the only reason I lasted 20 minutes is because I kept my pod open. And in a minute, I was like, okay, yeah, y'all can go and close it. And they put on all the like flashing lights to make it like a light show. And I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. And I was like, knock, knock, let me out. Let me out.
Did you feel claustrophobic?
I kind of like, it wasn't like, oh my God, the room is so small, but like, I don't want to be alone with my thoughts. Like,
I think I feel claustrophobic.
Yeah. It was really like, it just, my mind didn't quiet. My mind started letting in all the things I shut down when it comes up. All the things that I normally like, no, we're not going to think about this. Put this in the bag. Let's focus on this test again. All those things came up. And I was just like, what we're not about to do. Go through 30 years of unprocessed trauma. Like, no, we're not going to do that. So I think it can be helpful. A lot of people like it, and it's actually why I did it, because so many people was like, oh my gosh, you have to try it. It's so good for meditation, you know, on my spiritual journey, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't get into it. But that would be an example. So we want to wrap this up for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Of course, every Thursday we'll have a new one. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Bye.